There you go.
All right. Can you guys all see my screen now? Hopefully. Okay. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us for our final Boost Live. We've got a few things on the agenda today. We want to first and foremost celebrate the success of all of you and the accomplishments we've made with you over the last 18 months through the Boost program. So we're going to start there, and we're going to talk about some of the really amazing things you all accomplished with us over the last year and a half or so. And then we're hoping we can facilitate some connections amongst all of you so that as we close out the program and kind of move away from being able to support you on a daily basis, hopefully you will make some connections amongst yourselves and amongst the cohort so that you will have other peers to call on when questions come up and things like that. But lastly, we're not really going away completely. We're obviously still around in the local government space, and so we're going to share some ways through our other programs and initiatives that you can definitely still remain in contact with us, and we can continue to be a resource for all of you. So obviously, here's our same Zoom logistics that we always go through, but just real quickly, we are recording, and we can share this with you guys in case your colleagues missed any of the resources that we share. As always, please mute yourself if you're not speaking so that we can kind of limit some of that background noise. Obviously, feel free to chat us or raise your hand, or with this size group, you can probably just unmute yourself and share any comments or questions that you have as we go through today. And then hoping just you can rename yourselves. I think we know most of you at this point, but just have your name and your organization in your title so that we have an idea of who is joining us today. Carly, anything big picture you want to share before we jump into the successes?
No, I want to thank everyone for taking the time. I know it's December and everyone's cramming to get things done before they go out to break and holiday. But this team has put so much of their heart and soul into this program, and we have enjoyed all of our partnership with you all. So I want to thank you all for being here, and let's kick this off.
Perfect. So we've got almost everybody on the call today that you know in terms of your Boost team. Eric Emanuel is not able to join us today, but Carly, Kim, Nicole, myself, and Hannah are all on the line here. By way of introductions, instead of going around the room, if you can just maybe chat us in the chat box and let us know your name and organization. So again, we've got kind of a record of who's joining us this afternoon. But while we do that, we're going to go ahead and also jump into the first piece of our agenda, which is congratulations. And we want to go kind of around the room in terms of the team here and share some of the highlights as we see them that we've been able to work with you all on. So we're going to go through community by community. And to kick us off, I think Hannah's up first, and she's going to share about Arcata. Hannah, you're muted, hon.
Here goes the excitement that no one heard. Arcata, our first Boost community, secured more than $7.8 million through 5 different grant opportunities to help bring infill affordable housing and critical infrastructure to the Arcata community. This includes one of the first affordable housing sustainable community grants, and that grant has been awarded to a Native American tribe. Also, through customized public engagement training, Arcata is rocking and rolling with developing an inclusive, meaningful, and realistic public engagement approach to engage their residents around infill development plans and general plan update.
Thanks, Hannah, and congratulations, Arcata. A lot of exciting things happening there. Nicole, you want to share about Arvin?
I'd love to. I am so proud of the work we did together with the city of Arvin. Not only did we celebrate them through our Beacon Awards this year with a Spotlight Award in sustainability, Arvin has also taken incredible strides to improve air quality and foster sustainability in their community. So a couple examples. As a result of a partnership between the city and ILG and a Civic Spark Fellow, they're bringing free solar installations to community members with grid alternatives, hosted consumer protection workshops to foster more trust in solar locally. Also, we paved the way for a future Arvin Clean Energy Fair that'll happen sometime post COVID-19 to bring energy resources to local community members. And we also worked to expand clean transportation opportunities by conducting a clean mobility needs assessment and applying for funding. So hopefully we hear good news on that soon. But congratulations, Arvin.
Yeah, please join us in a round of applause for Arvin and all of their successes over the last 18 months. Nicole, do you want to keep going with Bakersfield?
Yeah, okay. And also so excited to celebrate Bakersfield, who secured more than $1.3 million to support comprehensive planning, to update their general plan, and to develop the city's first ever climate action plan, which is huge. Together, we hosted virtual engagement meetings and did a big pivot in the middle of the year so that we can work with the community to prioritize projects for downtown redevelopment through the Transformative Climate Communities Planning Grant, which, you know, they're nearing their report that they're going to share out with the community shortly. So I'm so pleased that, you know, the city was able to pivot to do that virtually during a really difficult time. And then we also worked with the city and the CBO, the MLK Community Initiative, to secure a community-driven STEP planning grant. This is super big for the Southeast community. It will help educate, engage, and empower the disadvantaged community in Southeast Bakersfield to lead planning and decision-making processes that will improve access to clean transportation. This will help address longstanding health and economic disparities. So congratulations, Bakersfield. It's so great to work with you.
Thanks, Nicole, and definitely big congrats to Bakersfield. And I'm sure you'll hear this theme throughout, but there's a lot of pivoting that we have done over the last 9 months or so. And so I think that'll be a theme you'll hear in terms of the innovation of the cities and regions that we worked with, as well as our team here at ILG to just continue to navigate the crazy changing times we have. Hannah, going back to you for East Palo Alto.
East Palo Alto. You know, guys, I remember one of our first kickoff meetings for the Boost program was in East Palo Alto. And with this brand new pilot program, we were wondering how it's going to go, if program is needed or not. And I remember Carol and Crystal coming back from that meeting so excited and so energized and looking forward to the Boost program because the meeting went very, very well. And thanks to the council member, Ruben Abrica, who I believe is on the phone, you definitely set us for success, and we knew this program is needed. So 2 years later, one of the successes we're celebrating today is development of 4 grant applications together with the city of East Palo Alto, including a $6 million urban flood protection grant application that took quite a bit of time to develop and had about 6 to 7 partners. It was a true partnership, the project around flood protection that is really, really needed in the community. And also another achievement and celebration is update of the 2011 Climate Action Plan. It is in the process. It is collaborative process with the community engagement as well. And we are incorporating health and equity elements into the plan and exploring new opportunities for the greenhouse gas reductions. We celebrate Arcata. We celebrate East Palo Alto. Arcata too.
Yeah, we celebrate everybody. But yeah, thanks, Hannah, and great work, East Palo Alto. Kim, do you want to talk about El Centro?
Yes, where's my El Centro team? I think I saw Marcella on the line. El Centro was a fun one. We had to pivot, I think up until lockdown, we had some in-person strategic planning meetings scheduled, and then we were no longer able to travel. So with El Centro, we were able to guide the city through a new strategic planning process. We facilitated meetings with the strategic planning task force, the city council, and then some department heads as well. And we helped the city revise their goals. And the goals are going to inform their vision, their mission, and their values, and also tie into the city's Vision 2050 plan. So we were really excited about the work that we did there. We also recently helped the city select a developer for an affordable housing site that they had an RFP out for, and they are hoping to tackle Round 6 HSC with that site.
Awesome. Sounds like great things are going on in El Centro as well. Up next, oh, Kim, do you want to keep going and talk about Mammoth?
I sure do. Mammoth was a huge accomplishment. Early on, Mammoth was telling us about all these public engagement efforts they had done for a project they have called The Parcel, which was a 25-acre plot of land in the middle of town. And so we set them up with staff from HCD and tried to get all the technical assistance we could to pursue an infill infrastructure grant. The grant had really innovative pieces like broadband and snow storage for that affordable housing development. And it ended up winning a $20 million grant, IIG grant. And so that was huge. We were really excited about that. We also helped set them up with some consultants to talk about economic recovery and development initiatives in the face of how tourism has declined during this pandemic. And we got them, and El Centro also into our Beacon program and got them a Silver Sustainability Best Practices Award.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. And definitely looking forward to seeing how the Parcel project progresses down there. Looking forward to seeing you all be completely successful on that front. Nicole, do you want to talk about Paramount?
I do. So Paramount has been a longtime participant in our Beacon Awards program, and through Boost, they wanted to do more to show their dedication to building a sustainable and thriving community. So we embarked on the creation of their first ever climate action and resilience plan, which will address air quality and other environmental equity issues for thinking specifically as much as possible about the severely disadvantaged populations within Paramount and bringing the benefits of climate action to everyone. We also worked with the Civic Spark Fellow, who helped them to develop new resources so that the community could get more engaged in clean energy and energy efficiency. Congratulations to Paramount. They also were the recipient of several Spotlight Awards for the Beacon Awards ceremony this year.
Thanks, Nicole, and congrats on all of that work, Paramount. Great work. Kim, back to you for Salinas.
Okay, perfect. City of Salinas, we've been doing a lot of work there. We have started the development of a climate action plan, which included 2 city workshops, kind of just the basics of climate action planning that we were able to hold for them. We got them an updated GHG inventory and forecast for that climate action plan. And even though Boost is ending, they are one of our California endowment communities, so we'll be able to continue some of our public engagement work connected to that CAP with them. Through Boost, the city unofficially, as of tomorrow, officially will be awarded a $250,000 SALC planning grant for the development of an agricultural framework to implement ag as a main theme in their general plan update. And they have also been selected to advance to phase 2 of a Roberts Wood Johnson Culture of Health Prize. There were 90 applicants. They were one of 21 selected. So that in and of itself is huge. That application is due Monday. So we are working to get that in. And either way, we think it's been huge and we're really excited and proud of them.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim, and congrats, Salinas. Carly, you want to talk about San Diego?
Sure. San Diego was one of our biggest cities in the program that's known for being really innovative in this climate field, but with great success comes great responsibility and great community demands, as we have very much realized. So our work with San Diego really focused on equity and engaging the community more in their planning processes that are coming up. The city is embarking on a climate action plan and a separate resilience plan, and also updating their environmental justice element of their general plan update. So we did a couple things with them. We worked with both the sustainability department and the planning department, 2 totally different divisions and efforts going on, but we provided tiers training at the beginning of this, and then also a customized 2-day public engagement training for the planning department. and also are working with the sustainability department on an ongoing basis to work with community-based organizations to help inform their climate action plan. A couple of other things that are kind of exciting also going on with those planning efforts is we helped them cultivate a Thriving Earth Exchange Fellow who's going to be doing some research and informing their resilience efforts, and connected them back with the San Diego Foundation, which they did have existing relationships with. We did a grant with the foundation earlier on for an ambassadors program that unfortunately wasn't funded, but we're looking to now have the city join with the foundation to do a NOAA grant, which will help with some urban heat research and possibly engaging the community in putting sensors throughout the community to get more specific data. So excited with all the work with San Diego.
Great, thanks, Carly, and congrats, San Diego. Hannah, do you want to close out our cities with Ventura?
Yes, Ventura. Loved working with Ventura. Jenny, I believe you're on the call, right? But we applied for 5 grants, and I cannot tell you number of grants we explored that we can apply for. But we submitted 5 grant proposals and secured more than $1 million in funding. One of the highlights was a wildfire resilience and recovery planning grant, because that grant included development of climate action and resilience plan for the city of Ventura to help them to prepare and recover from increasing wildfire threats. And what's cool about some of the grant proposals, some of them were really community driven, community reaching out to the city saying, hey, we have a project, can we brainstorm some funding? And Ventura and ILG got together with the community, found funding sources and submitted those applications. It was really community driven, very beautiful collaborative work. Congratulations, Ventura.
Great, thanks, Hannah. And yeah, let me echo you said congratulations to Ventura. So in addition to the 10 cities that you all just heard about, we also have been working with 2 regions throughout the state in the Coachella Valley and in San Joaquin. So in Coachella, another kind of going back to our theme of pivoting, we went in with the intent of helping them secure funding around climate and resiliency. And then we kind of took a bit of a pivot and really shifted our focus to housing and helping support them through education and grant writing assistance. Specifically targeted at the LEAP and SB2 funding and making sure that the cities in the region weren't leaving that money on the table. And then additional technical assistance that both through that program and outside of it to help amplify the other efforts going on regionally. I saw Taylor on the line and all of the great work that she and her team are doing at Lift to Rise to really address some of the rental insecurity and housing insecurity in the region and really double down on that post-COVID and help keep Coachella residents in their homes. So really want to extend congratulations to your team and to all of our partners in Coachella for all of their great work to help address housing challenges in the area. A similar theme in San Joaquin. We went into San Joaquin with the intent of helping them come up with some regional solutions to the homelessness crisis. And that had to be put on hold when COVID hit as well. And so we pivoted to really focusing on, again, housing as a big piece of that project and helping them just bring additional funding into the region. So we again helped from the LEAP and technical assistance around housing space to make sure that all of the cities and the county were applying for those funds. And then also want to definitely mention, I think I saw Haley on the line, the COG also just secured a nearly $7 million STEP grant to help with transportation equity needs in the city of Stockton. So that's going to bring electric vehicles, electric bikes, and other mobility tools into that area. And that'll be an ongoing project through for the next 4 or 5 years. So huge congrats to Haley and the SJCOG team for securing that moving forward. And last but not least, I'm going to turn it back over to Carly, but we also want to thank our other external partners in this space. And I think I saw Ina on the line, so huge thanks to SGC for being our big partner on this project. But we'll turn it over to Carly to share a little bit more.
Yeah, I think one of the things we were most proud and excited about is kind of the diversity in the funding streams and the diversity in the projects that we were able to help the cities with. And we certainly cannot claim that we did that alone. We were able to access so many of the technical assistance programs that already exist through the state agencies, whether it be HCD or the Strategic Growth Council. So Enterprise. Really, I think we connected almost every one of you with Enterprise for AHSC applications and technical support. I know we accessed the STEP and the CMO technical assistance programs as well. And really want to give a shout out to Ina and all of her support in answering questions and attending the meetings. It's a true partnership with the Strategic Growth Council that really helped us, understand the state priorities and figure out a way where those resonated locally and move the goals of our local agencies and regional agencies forward. Lastly, I do want to thank our consultant help. While this team has many things that they're great at and through this process became great at many more, we did call on 3 consultants, ESA, who helped with the Paramount Climate Action Plan, Harris and Associates, who helped with a couple of our grant writing, specifically on STEP, but also helped in climate action planning in the city of East Palo Alto, and PlaceWorks, who helped us with a lot of our work in Salinas. So thank you to all of our consultants. Thank you to all of our partners. And thank you to all of you guys for sharing your best practices and lessons learned through these Boost Live calls.
Great, thanks, Carly. And we will, towards the end of this call, definitely solicit and share some other ways that you guys can provide additional feedback, or your teams that aren't able to join us today can provide some additional feedback to us. But we're hoping to take, the next 20 or 25 minutes and really hear from you. So we have some discussion questions here, and we're going to do this in breakouts, but with the size of the group, I think we can probably just all stay in this main channel. But what we're really hoping to hear from you is, what were the most valuable parts of the program to you? What were the most helpful? What will you miss the most? Or what support could we potentially provide, or could you provide to each other moving forward? So what is that need still moving forward? And then lastly, how could we improve our technical assistance offerings moving forward? So what was missing, or what did you not get from the program that we might want to consider for future processes? So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so that we can see each other. And I will go ahead and drop the questions into the chat so that you guys can all see those as well. But anybody want to kick us off? Anything that was really helpful, or?
Can I start? I'll start with the last question, and I apologize if when we kicked off Boost we did this, but I think it would have been good to really get an idea of what all the other projects were and how you were helping all the other communities. And it's been a while, so maybe we did do that. I just forgot, but because it's really helpful to hear today, kind of hear how you've helped with these other communities, because then it kind of makes me think, oh, we could have done this, or we could have done that, or So I think that would be that might be good if you're doing the program again. And for us, clearly, I think having Carly and Kim kind of like, hey, apply for this money, see this money, apply, go apply. That was really helpful. And I think, like I said on a previous call, I think had we not had that push, we wouldn't have gotten that $20 million grant. So that's huge for our community, and we really appreciate it. I think we owe a lot to ILG for that. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sandra. Any other thoughts? What was helpful, or what was missing, or what do you need? What might this team on the line be able to provide you with?
Yeah, I'll just add something really quickly, Melissa. I think something that was helpful for us was, similarly to what Sandra was saying, connecting us to certain grant opportunities or funding opportunities or information that we maybe didn't have, time to look at, or we didn't know was available. And then similarly with, our local agencies and our stakeholders, connecting them also with other people. So networking, and also connecting them with funding and certain information that, would be pertinent to their agency.
Yeah, I think the funding piece was huge for a lot of the communities we worked with. We know that And I think Ina would admit to this too on the line, that some of the grant programs are a little bit challenging to navigate. So having that extra set of eyes and eyes and ears and help can really make the difference.
Similar to connecting to fund opportunities for us in the Coachella Valley, providing connections and information on technical assistance opportunities was really valuable. And then just kind of, I think you serve as kind of a quarterback, you direct us to people that can help if you can't help. And that was really helpful, and we're grateful for that.
This is
I appreciate
Christine. I'll go next. Give you guys a break. So first of all, I think what I got the most out of the relationship with ILG and this whole process was relationship building. And in the beginning, I don't think that we really understood like what the capacity was or how much ILG could support us. So honestly, if we had the opportunity to do it again, I would just be like, okay, we're going, we're ready, because now we really understand. But we're a small, rural, disadvantaged community, so that was a bit of a learning curve. What I liked the best about ILD was Nicole. She is just awesome, and Carolee, all of you really, and developing those relationships. The work that you've done in this program, it's going to continue for Arvin for a really, really, really long time. So I think what Arvin would like to do next year moving forward is really focus on housing. I think hopefully by next year we'll be ready to submit a housing application. And I know right now we're putting that all together and looking at spreadsheets of potential funding and looking at land, because Arvin's really landlocked. But I think now that I know more about how the whole process functions, I probably would have used and abused you guys a little bit more than I did. So I'm hoping for another opportunity, certainly. And really, it was an amazing experience. It gave me a lot more confidence in terms of being able to move forward and understanding that really what our city is lacking is just staff. And we're like the little engine that could. So I'm super excited about next year and moving forward. And definitely, I would love to see you guys continue this program. Maybe tighten it up a little bit more in terms of focus, so that the incoming city really understands what's going to happen and what the capacity is and what's possible. But overall, I think this is just an amazing program. I'm so fortunate to have been a part of it. Our city is very, very grateful. And I believe that the relationships that we've established through this program are going to last a very, very long time and have significant impact. So thank you. Very, very grateful. Love you guys.
Thank you, Christine. And I think that this is definitely a learning experience for us. So we really appreciate the feedback in terms of how we could tighten things up if we have this opportunity moving forward, and where we could really focus our efforts in on. So really appreciate that feedback. And we'll just echo the huge kudos to Nicole, because she's amazing with everything I work with her on at ILG. And so I'm sure she was just like an extra staff member or two for you and Arvin as well. I do see Ruben with his hand raised. So Ruben, do you have some thoughts?
Yes, well, nice to be here with everyone virtually. And I'm a council member, so I try to connect with the staff and what's going on. And one thing I can say for sure is that this past year we had a new city manager, and he definitely embraced, I think, the opportunity that we were having to, work with the Boost program. And I think, Hannah mentioned, we didn't, we applied for several grants, which we didn't get, but I know for sure that our staff now feels much more confident and in positioning the city for the next cycle. And so, it's kind of like, it's not just getting the money. Of course, that's very important. And I definitely congratulate those people who did, the cities, you know, because we all share some things in common. And so also reviewing our climate action plan, which actually we had one from 2011, but it seems so long ago and the world has changed so much that it's timely for us to be doing that. And I think one of the, so I think it helped our staff sort of come together and stay focused on certain things. We're always busy with a lot of stuff. I think, you know, I think there's a sense of fellowship in a way that, you know, we talk about regions, so we connect with our neighbors. But even though we're not physically next to each other, I have that feeling, you know, it's like we're a certain region ourselves, the cities in certain ways. Perhaps the smaller ones more, whether they're rural or urban like us. But so yeah, I had that feeling of fellowship. And I think Sandra mentioned at the beginning, I would say probably having had more structured interactions, kind of like, it's good to share, but, you know, sometimes either I don't know, you know, sometimes you just have to structure it. Like, okay, you guys need to connect and share and, you know, and they kind of learn from that. But it's never too late. I think that's something we could still do in some way from now on, still connect with each other and share what we're doing, because we're always learning. And the last thing I'll say is I'll invite the whole staff to come down to East Palo Alto and have some Mexican food at Cardenas, because the last time I saw Carol Lee, I think Hannah couldn't make it, or Carol Lee, if you remember, we had a nice Mexican lunch.
The
and that was
day
great.
of the lockdown.
And then the lockdown happened. I think you called home or something and they tell you this, they were closing the schools or something like that, you know? But anyway, I look forward to seeing all of you again in person. And thank you very much for all the work that everyone has done. And congratulations.
I definitely think thank you, Ruben. I definitely think we all look forward to being able to travel and come to all of your cities and regions. Yeah. I was definitely thinking about that as Sandra was talking to. I would love to get to the mountains. I haven't seen snow in a very long time. So we're definitely looking forward to being able to travel and see you all in person soon. And definitely appreciate your.
If
Go ahead, sorry.
I think in the future, I would like to go and visit some of these cities and you know, just visit with them for a little bit. And of course, you're welcome to once we're able to do that, because this is a long journey that our communities have to catch up in a certain way. Thank you.
Yeah, and definitely appreciate your comments about keeping everybody in contact. I think we at ILG feel like this has become a bit of a family over the last 12 to 18 months, but definitely we'll keep an eye towards figuring out how we can keep everybody connected even once the program is done. I think that's a great thought and great idea. Marcela?
Yes, thank you. I just want to say to the ILG team that for us here in El Centro, for those of you who may not know where we're located, we're like the last stop before you hit Mexico. We're way down in Southern California. And for us, it was an honor that ILG, basically that we were able to participate in this program. We don't get much, support in terms of technical assistance at the caliber that ILG did for us. So it was a very pleasant experience working with the team. Erica was great. The staff was great. I know it was mentioned earlier by Kim that we went through a strategic planning process, with our council, with our staff, and they're awesome. They're an amazing team. I think one of the things that I would hope for is, because there's so many valuable resources that ILG provides to local communities, is that my hope would be that you don't forget about us, that, we don't end Boost and that's it, we're done, is that you continue providing that technical support, because for cities, small cities like us, those kinds of resources are invaluable. And so I think that if you continue having us in your distribution list for any training, the other thing is I really admire how I think we were all able to adapt and be able to really make the best of this situation with COVID. But collectively, even if it's through a screen that we are doing right now, we felt the support. And I think that, we should all of us that are in local government, right now with this pandemic and this crisis, should be very proud because our work continues in a parallel form. And so having organizations such as ILG be there with us, being our cheerleaders, moving us along is very important. So all that I hope for is that you don't forget about us, that you continue having us in your distribution list, and that we continue doing the great work that we're doing. So thank you, ladies. Appreciate it very, very much.
So appreciate those comments, and we'll share. We definitely don't want to forget about you or any of our booth communities. So we will definitely share some ways that you guys can stay in contact with us, both just through our communication channels and things like that, but also some of our other programs. And I just also want to say before we go to Dilo is that I completely, wholeheartedly agree with your assessment of local governments and your ability to pivot and be innovative and weather this pandemic so well and with so much grace. So everybody on this screen that we've worked with through Boost and through all of our other partnerships, I'm continually amazed and honored to work with the local governments that we do, because you guys have just been amazing through this process.
And since you guys are in the Beacon program, you're stuck with us. So.
And we have you on the speed dial, so don't. We have you on the speed dial. We're there.
Dilo, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of the other communities have already said a lot of what Arcata would say. Kind of having partners that have a pulse on state funding has been super huge. But I would say a couple things that haven't been mentioned yet on top of other feedback. One is we've really appreciated the drafting of our community landscape. I don't know if other communities were also, exploring that or not, but we really appreciated having that structure, and our tiers training was excellent. And we had a lot of staff members take part in that, which was really wonderful. And also, I think I'd also echo the comment about how do we create more connections between these boost communities. And the one thing that I saw done really successfully, what I'd encourage you to continue to do, is just individually connect communities. So what happened there is I was mentioning that the city of Arcata is really interested in artists housing, and how do we navigate that? And Carly was like, well, one of our other boost communities successfully did that. Let me reach out to her, see if I can give you her contact information. And then I connected with Jenny Buckingham, who's on this call, and she and I spoke for like over a half an hour. It was very positive. And she connected us with an artist housing organization that we are in contact with now. So not only was I able to get the information I needed, I also made a meaningful contact with another boost community. So that kind of one-on-one networking worked really well. So something to maybe consider. I think it gives you more opportunity to really dig into those relationships, as opposed to just having, these calls where we all spend 30 seconds reporting out.
We appreciate that.
To Christine, Dilo was one of the people who I think gets the award for using and abusing us the most. So Christine, if you need to connect with Dilo,
I love abusing them.
I was going to nominate
very good
Christine.
at it too, but something rival you.
Carly, you're not supposed to say that. We weren't abused.
I meant that term in a lovingly manner,
Yes.
guys.
It's endearingly.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, though, that one-on-one connections, and that's what we're hoping to do a little bit of here, but definitely we'll keep an ear out towards that. So if you guys have questions that come up, we're definitely always happy to facilitate those connections, either amongst you all or with other organizations that we work with. I'm sorry, Jenny, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to, Dilo mentioned what I was going to mention, which to me was really valuable connection. We don't have the networking opportunities that we've had in the past, and who knows if we will again, at least to that extent. And this was a focused connection, so it really was nice that I'm glad Carly knows everything, and so it's like, of course she knew that about Ventura, and of course she knew somebody to connect to. But plus, Ventura is really proud of its arts community, and so I was really happy to share that information. But it was nice because it was focused. It was like a really good connection. It was a meaningful connection, I think. And anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, that I think that was a really valuable tool that just kind of happened because we're in this group together.
Awesome. Love to hear that.
The one thing I do want to say one thing too, what was incredibly valuable for us was being able to go to each and every one of your communities and do the kickoff meetings. So many of you were kind enough to give us a tour, to give us the history, to give us the lay of the land. What we were talking to you about weren't things that you guys didn't think of before necessarily. It was just sometimes we had to tweak the process or tweak the opportunity. And with new opportunities, you know, this is what we try to tell a lot of the technical assistants or the program providers. You may have talked to a city or a region like last month or, you know, last year, but their priorities, their council, their situation may have changed again. So being able to tangibly see where you had opportunities for housing or what projects you've done with certain grant fundings was incredibly valuable for us in stuff that we not only use to facilitate partnerships in this group, but ones that we'll use for years to come to talk about best practices or lessons learned and help inform other programs that the state creates. So thank you all.
All right. Do we have any other final thoughts or comments before we share some information about where we go from here and how you guys can stay connected with us?
I have a
sorry.
Cecilia, go ahead.
So sorry. I just want to say a quick word. Yeah, just kind of ditto what everybody said. You know, how awesome you guys are. It's just, you can't go beyond just so much support and the connections, and the same thing that everybody else got, the connections, the resources, the extra staff. And I only wish you can stick around. You know, you're able to help us with these grants, but now we need implementation help. So I only wish that stick around for that would have been great too. Thank you.
I have a quick reflection I would like to share with you guys. I think Sandra mentions like, oh, I didn't know you guys could do that. We would have taken advantage of that, Sandra. We didn't know that either. That was a huge learning process for us as well. How far we can push our limits and our capacity and test what we can do to serve you guys, to deliver for you guys. And that was an amazing journey that our team grew closer together because we collaborated on so many projects that we didn't know we can do, but we did it for you guys. And, you know, it's bittersweet having this Boost experience in terms of how intense it is and challenging and creative and pivoting. It's over, but we're here. We have you on the speed dial, and let's see what's next for us. Ina, what's next for us?
That's a great question. I actually asked Melissa if I could say some words towards the end, but maybe I'll just say something now. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the ILG team. You really are incredible rock stars and took control of this program in a lot of ways and shaping it and responding to community needs and pivoting during COVID. And, you know, just I feel like I've learned so much through this process in working with you all at ILG and also in working with all of the cities. You all may not know, but Carly and I have very frequent check-ins in which I hear about all the things that that they're doing. And so even if I haven't connected with you directly, I've learned a lot just from the experiences, you know, that have happened through this cohort and the work that's been happening through Boost, through grant applications and technical assistance and challenges that have come up. So really, really want to thank you all for being a part of the cohort, for being willing, I'm saying cohort because being part of this group and part of Boost, and also, you know, really want you all to know that you can continue to reach out to SGC. A big part of what we've been wanting to do through our technical assistance work is build better relationships with local governments and communities on the ground. So certainly don't hesitate to reach out if you need information about any of our programs, or if you just want to know more about how you get in touch with someone at another state agency, because we work with a lot of them. And so we often have connections. I can't promise that we always do, but we often do. And we try to do our best to connect folks. So
You guys sent an email for me. The person that I hadn't heard from in 3 weeks responded within an hour. It was incredible. I can speak to that.
cool. That's great. Yeah, I was so glad to see that happened. I can't promise that will always happen, but sometimes I happen to know the person personally, so that helps. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say in terms of next steps. Still trying to figure that out, but I think one thing that I think Christine has spoken to our council in the past to give like a public comment to talk about the value of this program. We will be having a council meeting in February where we'll be talking about Boost and kind of highlighting what happened during this pilot program. And so if you're all available or interested in leaving a public comment, we can send you information about how to do that. Again, can't promise that we'll have another round of Boost, but I think that it's always valuable for the council to hear the appreciation for the program and yeah. So thanks.
Thanks, Ina. That's kind of a perfect segue into where we were going to close out. And we can definitely share the information about that meeting with you all if you are interested in trying to attend or submit comments. We can definitely make sure you have all of that. So we're just going to go back to our PowerPoint here real quick, maybe. There we go. So just want to share some other ways that you can still keep connected with us and remain involved in some of our other programmatic offerings. I think all of you are now in the Beacon program. Round of applause, we got everybody there. So that's definitely one way that you can still engage with us around some of these topics on climate and resiliency and energy efficiency and a whole host of things that Nicole and Kim work so hard on. So definitely look at that as a resource through those best practices and through that awards program. Huge way that you can stay connected with us at ILG. We've already worked with a number of you on some of these planning and housing related topics. So this is another great way for you guys to remain connected with us. As part of that process, we are still working to connect all of the local governments. I think everybody on the line here has applied, but if you haven't, reach out to Carly or Nicole or I, and we can help you get connected with the LEAP grant funding. That deadline's in January, so don't wait on that front if you haven't already applied. In addition to that, we are working with HCD and PlaceWorks to get some regional technical assistance plans developed and deploy those technical assistance needs around housing development as well, related to housing element updates or RENA allocations, a whole host of things there. So that's another way that we can potentially still remain engaged with you all. And then another piece of that work that we'll be moving into, just to flag for you all, is around planning commissioners, resources and training. So we'll be developing some written resources and looking to do some regional training moving into 2021. So if that's of interest or a need in your city or region, definitely reach out to us on that front as well. And just want to quickly flag our other programmatic offerings. I think most of these have come up in either a Boost Live or a training or other thing we've engaged with you on, but obviously we have a huge focus around public engagement that a lot of you took advantage of during this program, and that will continue to be a focus of ours through training and resources. We also have a focus area on leadership and governance. So that's a lot of facilitated conversations around board staff connections, civility, effective governance, things like that. So that's another resource if that's a need for your city or your region. And then last but not least, we also have a focus area on workforce and civics education. So that's really kind of that pipeline to public service. And I know that a lot of you have capacity issues, so thinking through ways to have internships or work with your school partners to really encourage careers in local government. So that kind of rounds out our ILG offerings. Carly, anything I missed you want to add in terms of program offerings?
No, I think I'm just, want to reiterate that through the Beacon program, the Boost program was really structured off of the Beacon program. That was the allocation, the legislative ask we made. It was kind of Beacon on steroids. So even though you won't have all the ability through Boost to, access this really, really, robust technical assistance. Kim, Nicole, and the whole team actually adds into the Beacon program. So it's not only a recognition program, but it is one of those opportunities where you can call us with any of those questions. And again, if we don't have the answers, like Christine said, we'll figure out who does and we'll connect you with that person.
Then also just want to encourage all of you, if you're not already on our general newsletter list or following us on social media, it's another great way to stay informed about new resources, upcoming trainings, webinars, or other offerings that we have through the broader ILG channel. So these are our handles and the link to sign up for the newsletter, but I'm also happy to facilitate that on the back end if you guys want to stay in touch. But this is another great way for you to know and stay up to date with what we're doing at ILG. And then just want to offer two other ways that you guys can provide additional feedback, or others on your team can provide additional feedback. So we sent out a post survey to kind of get some thoughts about the program and what the needs still are and what was really appreciated and all of that. The link was sent in the newsletter that was distributed yesterday, but we're happy to resend that if you don't have it. And then additionally, feel free to call or email any of us with other feedback or best practices or things like that. We are in the process of developing our final report for SGC. And so anything you would like to see reflected in that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're working on that right now. So definitely still have time to get additional thoughts or comments in. And then maybe actually somebody that's on my team, we can drop the survey link into the chat box as well too, as another way for you guys to find that. If you don't mind. Hannah's giving me a face. Okay. And then I'll just put up our emails lastly here, and then open it up to our team or anybody else that has any closing thoughts or comments.
Just wanted to say thank you so much to all of our Boost communities and the ILG team and SGC and all of our consultants. We didn't know what this would be like going into this program, and I am incredibly proud of the work that we've done together, the relationships we've built. For me, this is some of the most meaningful and impactful and rewarding work that I have done in my career, and I'm so grateful for you all opening, your cities and doors and Zoom windows to us. And I look forward to continuing to work together in the future in whatever form that may take.
Well, I'll definitely echo Nicole's thank you and everybody's thank you. This has been a wonderful process for me personally, and I think the whole team at ILG. We've really enjoyed working with all of you, and definitely hope to stay in contact in one way or many ways moving forward.
And I'll just put my hope out there that next year, hopefully you'll all be able to attend an in-person Beacon ceremony, and we can cheers to our success for the Boost program and the Beacon program now that you're all a part of it.
Yeah, thank you everyone for everything. And if this program continues in 20 years, it'd be pretty amazing to see how many connections we have built between all these cities. It would be pretty impressive, I think. So thanks, I hope it continues.
Perfect. Ina or Carly, any kind of final closeout remarks?
I want everyone to have a relaxing, happy holiday season. I know local governments went above and beyond this year trying to, give those essential services to their community and deal with COVID. So I know how much work you all put into it. You deserve a break. I hope you have a happy and healthy holiday season. And thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And ditto to that. Great job, everyone. I really appreciate all the work that you've put into this, and and so appreciate all of your work to support your communities.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Happy holidays.
Thanks, guys.
And we will talk to you all soon.